Merry Christmas! Wait, hold on. Bam! I couldn't find a Santa Claus hat. This was the best one I could find. Is this the best hat ever? Yes. Will I wear this when it's not Christmas? Yes. Now, this is just a pre-thing before this video starts, so please try to take me seriously with this on. So when I was filming this interview with Dr. Edward Surrey, I was in the Holy Land, and at the time, I thought that this was going to be uploaded January 1st. So I don't mention anything about it being Christmas Day. I also say that it's Season 5, Episode 15, which is not. It's Season 5, Episode 14. But after I got home, I decided to move the Dr. Edward Surrey interview to this week, and then proof that Jesus was the Messiah to next week. So yeah, that's it. If you're actually watching this on Christmas Day, thank you very much. Thoroughly appreciate it. I mean, if you're watching this anytime, thoroughly appreciate it. But, it's Christmas Day. So Merry Christmas to all of you, and enjoy this interview. Hey everybody, I am Keaton. This is Season 5, Episode 15. I am here with Dr. Edward Surrey, here in Jerusalem, on location in the Holy Land. Wonderful theologian, professor, pilgrimage leader, author. You have 7 other titles. And I was going to ask you some questions about sort of what you do and about the Holy Land itself. So how and when did you know what you wanted to do with your life? How did you know that you wanted to give talks and evangelize?
I'm still trying to figure that out. No, I'm just gonna. No, I would say when I was young, I had a great interest in media. I had a great interest in radio and television. I had a dream of going into broadcasting, and my first major when I went to college was radio and television. And then I broadened to communications in general, so I could do a little bit of everything, including print. Ended up with a journalism major and a business major so that I can do communications, marketing, and I got to dabble in a lot in my original career. My first career was actually I worked for a big corporation in the United States, and I was doing marketing and public relations, and I got to do video, I got to do print, I got to do all these wonderful things. But I remember when I was in college, my faith was really taking off, and I had a desire to work in the church, and I remember I'm graduating, and I'm wondering if I might be able to work in the church instead of take this job. And I got offered this awesome job with one of the top 20 companies in the world. And I remember deciding, what should I do? And I'm praying about it, and I talked to my parish priest, and he said, all your career up to this point in your studies in college have led you to get this great job, and we need people in the secular world to do great things out there, to be Jesus in the midst of a secular world. And why don't you take the job, and if you're called to be in the secular world, then you're off to a great career. But if not, he said, God will give you experiences and skills that you could later use for the service of the kingdom. Now, back when I'm graduating college, 22 years old, if you would have told me I'm going to be writing books, doing video documentaries in the Holy Land and in Rome, I'm going to be teaching, theologian, speaker, have a podcast, all these things, I would have just gone, that's not for me. I had no idea. And so I think it was just simply being faithful to what was being presented in front of me, and it seemed like that was the next step. But later in life, I ended up wanting to go work in the church, so I went and did my master's in theology, I did my doctorate in Rome, and then I ended up starting just to teach. I was just a professor. It was many years later, 15 years later or so, I found myself working a lot more with video, and I remember working with our video team, and we're filming this big documentary in Rome, and I'm saying, we need to be careful about the lighting, and I think this music should be good, and I wonder if I should stand over here, and they're wondering, how do you know so much about video? And it dawned on me, God gave me those experiences working for that company, and I hope I'm using it for the Lord's kingdom, as that parish priest told me.
Yeah, absolutely, and you get to have a ton of experiences. You've led multiple pilgrimages, and it sounds like you get to have a lot of fun. And you get to have a lot of meaning behind what you're doing. It's a job that has meaning, it's a job that has a purpose, and it's God's will. So what would you say is the best part of your job?
Oh, my favorite part of my job? Wow. There's so many things. I think it's whether it's someone that reads my book, or someone on a pilgrimage, or someone that is listening to a talk I'm giving, when I sense that it's helping them. It's helping them wherever they are in their journey of faith, whether it's helping them through a difficult time, helping them grow in prayer, or helping them understand this is why we believe what we believe. I think that's one of my great joys, is seeing that lights on experience. It could be a student right in my class. It could be, again, someone at a conference or someone that gives me feedback on a book and how it's helping people take whatever that next step in their relationship with Jesus might be.
Yeah, that's incredible. And it seems like, based on your story about how you came to find what you wanted to do with your life, what you wanted, how you found your vocation, what advice would you give to those kids watching this who might be struggling to sort of know that, or even adults or young adults who might be struggling to find out what they are going to do? Because it did take you a little bit to sort of...
Yeah, I didn't see it all at once, and I think that's the thing I would just encourage people. I would say to them, just pray. Pray that God guides your life, because you're never going to see the whole all at once. What you want to do is right now just pray, what does God want for me right now? What's the next thing he wants for my next year in high school? And then when you get later on in high school, what's he calling to me for college? And always seek not the big plan, because he's not going to unveil, in most cases, what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But it's being faithful to the little things, the little steps right in front of you. If you're really committed there, I think the Lord will show you the way.
You get to do things like lead pilgrimages like we're on right now, and you've been to the Holy Land several times. What would you say is your favorite site in the Holy Land, and how many times have you been to the Holy Land in general?
Wow, I've been, I think eight times maybe. I went when I was in my graduate studies, and then I came back for filming this documentary on Mary, and then I've been leading pilgrimages several times. And I was here for just filming just 5 weeks ago. It's crazy, I don't come to Jerusalem this often normally, but I was just filming this new program all on the Passion of Jesus Christ. It's called No Greater Love, a biblical walk through Christ's Passion. We got to go right to all of the places, some of the places we went today, like at Calvary and Caiaphas' house and Gethsemane, and really just help unpack what Jesus was going through step by step. But my favorite place isn't actually here in Jerusalem. It's where we were earlier this week. It's Galilee. I love Galilee. It's much calmer up there. There's less chaos.
Yeah, very
But
much.
especially, you get a picture of what it was like, the countryside, what Jesus would have been walking through day in and day out. My favorite place is anywhere along the shore of the Sea of Galilee, because those places haven't been built up with traffic and houses and churches. It's just, that's the sea he saw, that's the sea he walked on, that's where he called Peter and John. You can really peacefully enter into what Jesus really saw himself day to day.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the last question, is there anything you want to tell the young people watching this?
I want to pass on a message that inspired me in my youth. It is something from St. John Paul II. When he became Pope, he gave his life to young people, and he invited them to open wide the doors of their lives, the doors of their hearts, the doors of their souls. Open wide the doors to Christ. There are many people out there that want to open the door a little bit to Jesus. Oh, I'll give him this part of my life, and I'll give him this part of my life. John Paul II said, open wide the doors. Give him everything. God cannot be outdone in generosity. If you are generous with him and you really throw your life at him and seeking his plan, follow his moral life, all those tough issues about chastity, sobriety, the church's teachings on sexuality, church's teachings on marriage, church's teachings on life and care for the poor. If you follow all those things and you open wide the door to Jesus in your life, he's going to give you so much more in return. It's hard to follow Christ. It's not easy. The standard is a tall one. It's the cross. We got to go to Calvary today.
We did.
And that's what he holds up. He holds up the cross to us. That's what Jesus does, because he knows that's where you'll find your happiness. When you lay down your life and give it to others, you give it to God, you give it to the people in your life. If you live for others the way Christ wants you to, according to his plan, he's going to bless your life in so many amazing ways.
Thank you so much for doing this, sitting down with me in Jerusalem. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next week, and hi, Brio.